Hey everyone, it's Carolyn, the founder of Artsy Shark. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please feel free to subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a like so you can see more on the business of art. I'm really excited today to have a very special and very smart guest with me who is my co-author on a course that Artsy Shark offers called Sell More Art with a Dynamic Portfolio. So I'd like to introduce my friend and my co-author, Kelly Heck, who is a photographer. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you, Carolyn. What a great intro. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been so exciting working with you. I wanted to bring you on board because one of the things that you know is how to take a great photo. And I think the point of this interview and this video is going to be how very essential it is that artists have professional presentation. You know, I jury a lot of art and I see a lot of images. We see that most people, it seems, are taking their own photos. Would you agree with me?
I think you're right. And it's because, you got to decide where does that budget go? And if you can learn how to do it yourself, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you have something that you want to have as a phenomenal press photo or it's going on the cover of a magazine, I would absolutely advise get a professional photographer. They are well worth it. I've got some professional shots that I've used for years. But let's say you're going to take photos of your work for the jury, or you want to put it on your website, and you've got to give a really great image that's clear, that's informative, that doesn't have a lot of the problems that we run into. Let's quickly, I just want to go over what are some of the main problems that artists have with their the photos of their work.
I think it's getting a crisp, clear image, and that could be your camera shake, having enough light, getting beautiful light. So understanding how to find and use beautiful soft light for your artwork, probably consistency and cleanliness. We want to make sure that the focus on a portfolio is your artwork, plain background, no distractions.
Right. I see that all the time. So for the people who are watching this and they want to take some really good photos of their work, I want to just give a few tips, a few insights, and I know you've got some great ideas for artists who are shooting their own work. So why don't we get started? And I'd like to ask you, what do you recommend for people who are photographing their artwork?
Well, if it's all right, I'll go ahead and share my screen because I pulled up an example and I wanted to show you two very affordable products. So give me just a second here. So this is just a quick portfolio I wanted to scroll you through as an example of two things I want to recommend for you. See how just clean and bright these images are? So I have a backdrop and I have a base. And I wanted to show you that these backdrops, they're called seamless paper. They're really affordable. Depending on the size of your art, they come in different widths, as all the way up to 12 feet wide, and different lengths. So all you need to do is, once you bought this, you'd have to figure out some way to hang it. They do make backdrop kits that you could look up on Amazon.
So you would take this paper and you would simply drape it with a curve behind the item itself to give that seamless look. I mean, I realize that not some of these do have a look like a little bit darker at the bottom, but you're going to go into that, I guess.
Correct. Like this would be a good example of a paper dropped in the background, but you could also sweep it down across your tabletop. But you could think about this for anything that's suspended, or think about if you have a white wall at home. If you can manage to bring the beautiful light into that room, you can hang your two-dimensional artwork as well. But if you have a 3D item that needs to have a beautiful base, I kind of like having this reflective platform. And all this is well, you can cut it down, but it's tile board that comes in a 4x8 foot section at Lowe's. And all you have to do is find the smooth one. You want to avoid the ones that have the textures printed into them. But, oh, sorry, let me go back to my picture.
So these little crocodiles, you're looking at a flat tile base where you place those items. And then in the back, you've got that clean sweep of the paper that's coming down behind it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a great look. You know, this is not expensive and it's not hard to do. And yet I think those photos that you showed me compete with anything that's out there on the internet. You know, if you want to sell your work online, and you're an artist and you know that you're up against everybody who is selling online, product shots are done like this all the time. And so
Right.
you'll be right in the running with everybody else who's got that nice, clean look. And it won't look like you photographed it on your carpet or with, you know, the highway in the background. I mean, I've seen some really sad things. I also feel personally that when I see work that's shot like this, not only does it focus on the art, not only does it give me a really clean look, but it shows me that the artist takes their work seriously and that actually they respect their own work. Your art is, you know, you take a long time to make it. It's something that you're passionate about. And I think respecting your work means showing it to its best advantage. And that's really what we're getting, you know, into right here. So Kelly, I've got a quick question for you about light boxes, because
Yes.
they've been really popular, you know, lately. I know they sell them on Amazon, or you can buy them at any number of places, probably even, you know, the hardware store. Tell me, what do you think of light boxes for photographing work?
Light boxes are definitely a very affordable option, but there's definitely pros and cons. So most of them are for products on the smaller side. And one thing you really need to find for your light box is a smooth background. So some of them are sold with like a fabric backdrop that it's all wrinkled, just like the rest of the tent that pops up. So finding something like a thick piece of poster board or something that you can curve in the back so that you have a very smooth finish is important. It's really important that you probably watch some tutorials or take our course to learn how to light that appropriately. A lot of the light boxes come with the light kits and it's kind of like a all you need in one box sort of thing you might want to look into. And then I think it's really just getting used to your camera, understanding perspective wise, do I move closer to that object in the tent or do I zoom in from outside of the tent window? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you don't want to distort the image at all. You
Right.
want to give a realistic perspective of it, right?
Right. And that's where zooming in helps. It's kind of like trying to take a selfie of yourself, right? Your arm can't get far enough away to actually get a true to eye perspective of my nose and my ears.
That's
That's
right.
why you need a camera off on a tripod.
So, and you talked about camera shake earlier,
Yeah.
and that's where you get that little bit of a blur, because it's really hard. I mean, if you are actually a breathing human being, it's probably really hard to
Yeah.
not move slightly while you're positioning your camera. So you're recommending like a tripod of some sort to keep
Yep.
it nice and
yeah, if you can add
steady.
I was going to say, yeah, if you can add a tripod to your budget, that's great. If you can't, if you're using a mobile phone, I'm not quite sure what to recommend for you, but there is a mode on a camera. One of your automatic modes is sport mode, and it's intended to encourage your camera to shoot faster and adjust other settings around your available light. So faster means we're going to avoid that camera shake. It's when you're shooting too slow in a dark space that you start to see some of that.
That's
And you
right.
also need to make sure, and you also need to make sure your lenses aren't smudged on both your camera phones. Your phone cameras and your actual big cameras. Make sure everything's nice and clean so you have the sharpest image you can capture.
You know, as a kind of a last topic here in this video, I want to talk about light, because I know it is so incredibly important. Could you talk a little bit about the type of light that you want to use for this type of image?
Yes. So for most of you, it's going to be easiest to work with a continuous light source. As a photographer, I have strobe lights and they fire off and then they go away. And you kind of have to know a little bit more about your camera settings for that to work. So continuous light is going to be like the sun, or a light intended for maybe video purposes. There's a brand I wanted to recommend. I don't use it personally, but my husband does for video. It's called Neewer, Neewer. He buys them off Amazon, very affordable if you want to buy a light kit. But the thing with those and the thing with the sun is that direct light is really sharp. It gives you really bright highlights, really dark shadows. So it's really important that you find a way to diffuse that light. So whether you're buying an actual light that you plug in, if you do that, you might want to look at umbrellas or soft boxes to add to that light source to help give it more of a cloudy light effect.
Just diffuse it like a cloudy day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're going to use sunlight, There's ways that you can find bounce light. You're kind of like, it's really sunny outside today, right? You can kind of see the streaks behind me. You can buy diffusion panels. It's pretty much like a translucent white fabric. The other thing I always try to get people to visualize is, like, think about your kitchen. If you have a sliding glass door or a big bay window, there's certain times of day that that light is trickling in the window and it's bouncing off the floor and it's illuminating a wall very softly. So if you can find a space in your home that does that for you at a certain time of day, you might be limited to the time of day you can shoot now for consistent images, but at least you have a very affordable option that's powered by the sun.
Hey, sun's free. We all like the sun. That is such a good tip there. Thank you, Kelly. And I just want to, I so appreciate your joining me and giving these tips, but I also want to mention to everyone, you and I have written a course, which is incredibly helpful and valuable. It has how to shoot images of your work, how to pose for the camera, how to work with your images, how to tag your images, as well as how to use all of the supporting collateral. Our course is called Sell More Art with a Dynamic Portfolio, and a link to it will be in the description of this video and also in the comments below. Thanks for joining me, Kelly. You are terrific. Really appreciate your tips, and I'll be talking to you again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.